right, and hello. Welcome to Husky Hoops. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. With me, as always, UConn legend, Western Connecticut State University head coach, the great Maria Conlon. Maria, there you go. I introduced you. Hi.
Hi. Sorry, Joe. I was just telling Steve we woke up with a one of our heat things completely frozen over, so I have the
Oh,
gas people here right
that's
now.
always a pleasant way to start the day.
Oh, I
Yes.
woke up and I was like, I'm really cold. And I actually prefer sleeping cold, so it wasn't a big deal. It was 48 degrees in my bedroom.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Last time it was that cold in my bedroom. I can't say it. I'll say it off air. I can't say it on air. I'll get
Yeah,
And we have the icon himself, the legendary voice of the Huskies, the best of the best, Joe D'Ambrosia. Joe, great to see you.
Great to see you. Trying a new look. Going completely bald.
That's the way to go.
I
That's
like
the way
it.
to go.
It's decided it's a better way to go. My barber said I got a great head for this.
You do.
So we're going to go this way and see what it goes.
I don't know why more guys don't do that. I saw a ref the other day and like he just had one piece coming in the front and
It's
that
probably
was like
because it was a piece.
that
It's just left it.
no, I think it was real. It was just like one streak and it was hanging on for dear life and I'm like, man, just shave that.
Just
But
like
Yes,
you
seriously.
left it.
Just get rid
Yeah.
of that shit.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's tough to let go sometimes.
yeah.
It's tough to let go. I get it. I get it. So Maria, we talked about the women had a busy weekend since we talked. They had Villanova, and they obviously decimated Villanova, 99-50, and same old story. Sarah, AZ, KK, they just dominated. And again, like you said, I watched some more of the Big East, and it feels like NBA team playing against the G League, basically, when we play against anyone in the Big East.
Yeah, I mean, that's been like that for a long time, but I mean
God,
even more impressive is that they completely dismantled Notre Dame as well. I mean,
oh
I know Notre
my
Dame is not
God.
as good as they have been in years past, but Joe, I'm sure you watched the game, but I've been
All of
saying
it.
this.
Start to finish.
Yeah, I've been saying this all year. I really think this might be the best defensive UConn team that we've seen in a really, really long time. What they do from a full court perspective, and what I love about it, I'm actually trying to implement some of it with my team, is that they basically force the other team to have anyone but their primary ball handler bringing the ball up. And so when you do that, it delays what you're going to get into from an offensive perspective in the half court. And then in the half court, I mean, they're just so hard to score on. I mean, kudos to KK and AZ guarded her for a bit, but Hidalgo was like completely lost out there on
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah.
She couldn't get a rhythm at all. They forced her. I'm actually not a big Hidalgo fan. She reminds me a lot of Enrique, um, who plays, with Dallas
Yep.
and played at
Yep.
Notre
Interesting
Dame, but
teammate.
like high volume, out of control. Like if everything's going in, it's going in. But if it's not, it's not. And I think they did a really good job of, just making her move a ton to even try to get the ball. But and then again, it just seems like a broken record. But the level that Sarah Strong is playing at is like so unfair right now. It's
Yeah, it's like she's Superwoman,
yeah, I
and
mean, I just feel
nobody
like we
else
say
comes
the same
close.
thing every week. But I had Sydney Johnson, who's the head coach of the Mystics. His daughter played for me at GFA.
Yes.
He came to my game over the weekend, And so I was just chatting with him a little bit, and he thinks that UConn and Bandy will be in the Final Four. He doesn't see, unless like something crazy happens, but he reassured me that those are like the two most fun teams to watch right now, which I kind of already knew. But he was like, if Sarah Strong came out last year, she probably would have been the number one pick. If she came out this year, she'd be the number one pick. She'll be the number one pick until she decides to leave. It's
Right.
scary.
She's
Yeah,
been
I
great.
mean, oof.
Go ahead, Steve.
No, I was just gonna say she just does it all. Offensively, defensively. I mean, she rebounds. She's a facilitator. She does everything asked of her. She plays a ton of minutes. I mean, she is above everyone else, and that's the biggest difference. I mean, she has steals, which is incredible. Like you mentioned, defensively, I think she puts them on another level defensively. I think she's stepped up as a leader as well. But the combination, like you said, I mentioned Blanca being in the starting lineup, there's no need to put her there. You're absolutely right. The minutes that she gives off the bench and the points that she scores and what she does is perfect, and there's no reason to mess with it. So you're absolutely right. They just have something going that is really, really special right now. And I mean, I don't see anyone being
Blanca didn't
able to
even
knock
play
them off.
that well against Notre
No,
Dame.
she
That's
wasn't very good at
No,
all. She couldn't make an outside shot,
she
turn the ball
struggled.
over.
She was
really not,
4 of
honestly,
11
we did
shooting.
not. There was at one point in the first half where I felt like we were taking too many threes.
Right.
Um, and they weren't going in. Like AZ did not shoot the ball particularly like a normal AZ night. Um, another one that I thought played really well was Heckle off the bench.
She did. Yeah.
She came in, she played solid. I mean, everybody played solid. Everybody played
She
solid.
had 11. Yeah, I mean, she was 3 of 7 off the bench. She didn't turn the ball over too much. But I mean, yeah, you were right. We were 6 for 24 for three-pointers against Notre Dame. And
By the way,
30
a lot of teams in the country would take that,
Yeah.
but
No, right,
but when you're
exactly.
talking about a UConn team that has the best shooter in the country, it's not great. But you don't need it. They score any way they want. You shut one kid down for a possession, another kid makes a play. But I really just think they're so fueled by their defense right now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and they go and they play 10 deep too, which I think is even crazy too. Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
No, that's fine, Cully. Um, I thought it was. I thought just the way that they took over in the second half. I mean, they didn't have any momentum going into the locker room at halftime. That second quarter was kind of a disaster from a UConn standpoint. Even though
Right.
they still led, they weren't playing well. But they just came out and they were so devastating. And I think, Maria, you hit the nail on the head with KK. I mean, she's become a disruptor of the first degree, and she had that stretch early in the third quarter that pretty much helped break the game wide open. So to be able to get that out of her, um, Sarah being Sarah, Heckle, there's a story in the current this morning, and there's a great picture of the bench jumping up and down when Heckle hit that three, hit one of her threes during the game. You didn't even need Blanca to play well. She didn't. Sarah Williams almost got in a fight, which was interesting. Uh, and then AZ was okay. I didn't think AZ was awesome. I thought Shade was Shade, but when you've got one of the best players the best player in the country, that covers a lot of your warts if you have them, and that certainly was the case on Monday. I mean, the third fastest player to get to 1,000 in UConn history, only Paige and Maya got there quicker, and Paige probably would have got there quicker than she did if she didn't have, she played some games hurt in that first 55. He dominated, and to see him do that to Notre Dame, as somebody said on social media, I would have liked to have had a camera at the McGraw household to see how Muffet handled it.
Oh, I would have loved that. I
Oh,
would
Right?
I
pay good money for that.
That would have been fabulous. So look, I mean, and if they did that to Notre Dame, and you've said this, Maria, they're going to devastate. I don't care what Tennessee could play 12 players at a time, and they're going to kick the crap out of Tennessee too. So it's hard to say, but and I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but the games are almost unwatchable from here on out.
No,
Because
they really are.
if
I
you
mean,
like competition,
you
I mean,
try.
watch them for the brilliance of Sarah Strong and Az Fudd and the cohesiveness of the unit. But from a competitive standpoint, I mean, who's going to give them a game?
And that's what I was going to say. It's just amazing to
Well,
watch them from execution, but there's nobody that can come within 10 points of them. Is there left on their
well,
schedule?
I think with the Tennessee game, because I agree, Joe, I don't think it's going to be like last year. And I think the main difference is that they've shown that they can play fast, right? Like
Right.
they can press as well. Like they're pressing pretty much all game right now. So I think from a conditioning stamina standpoint, this is one of the best outputs we've seen in a really, really long time, if not ever, from
Yeah.
from top to bottom. I mean, these kids don't even seem like they're breaking a sweat, and they're pressing from the time the ball is tipped until the end of the game. Um, and it's not pressing where they're necessarily trapping all over the place, but what they're doing is smart, is that they're
No.
having a guard trail back on the inbounder, and the second that ball handler gets over half court or near it, they go over and they trap hard right at half court. Like I said, they're forcing the other team to get it out of their primary ball handlers' hands, and I think it's making a huge difference because not everybody has as many weapons as them. So when you start to do that and you have rushed offensive sets, you're just not getting the same looks. And I just don't think that Tennessee is going to be able to speed us up as much as they could last year. I just think that we're in. I mean, kudos to Hootie and her staff too. They just look. I mean, knock on wood, obviously, like healthy, hungry. They look stronger. They look faster. Just more efficient and everything from a athletic performance standpoint. And I think that's the biggest dramatic thing that I see against a lot of the teams that we're playing against is that we look like we're training for the Olympics, and these other people look like they're training for like I don't even know, CIEC state championship, just from an athletic output on the court and what they're able to accomplish. And you're not talking about like, listen, KK is super fast, right? We know AZ can defend. Sarah's going to do it, but they're not like athletic genetic prowess type kids where
No.
They
I
play
just
so
think
well
that
together. It's the
whatever they
biggest
did
thing.
in the off season and in the preseason after that national championship just ramped it up a whole nother level. And yeah, it's scary. I mean, the only downside that we always talk about is just like we said, the rest of these games. And then I look over at Vandy's schedule, and they're playing like 7 top 20 teams in the next month.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they'll be a little beat up, right? Like there's a benefit to not being beat up all regular season, but they'll also be like really, really battle tested, as will some of those other teams in the SEC.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
agree. I agree. But I think with another team, it might be more of an issue than it is with this UConn team because they're so focused on what the ultimate goal is.
Well, they've
I
been
think
there.
yeah, because and it's the ultimate goal every year here.
Yeah.
It's not
And
it's
this team's
not
done
like
it.
right. It's not like a school that's a first timer getting to this level, to use an example like Indiana football, who by the way, Cully, I was right on that prediction too.
you
So
were right on the spread, Joe. Yes.
yeah, I told you. I told you.
You
So
did. You did. You did.
um
8.5 was too much. Yep.
yeah, I thought it was way too much. But look, they just, I mean, it's a matter now of just fine tuning things, trying to keep getting Williams in a rhythm, trying to make Heckle feel more at home, trying to get Zeibel a little more playing time. So if the need comes, if they get in foul trouble in a game, she'll feel more at ease. Hoping that Caroline can keep, getting back and contributing a few minutes here or there. But other than that, I mean, it's just a matter of how much you're going to win. What's the margin of victory for these games? I think they really wanted to step on Notre Dame's throat on Monday, though. I think that was pretty apparent.
Yeah, that definitely showed. And if
No.
you look through their scores, very few teams score over 50. And the closest game they had all year was earlier on against Michigan.
Right.
Ever since the Michigan game, it's been a blowout. I mean, there have been few teams that have scored over 50. Most teams are in the 40s, and there have been a couple in the 60s. But as far as the Big East goes, I don't think there's anyone who's going to come close to giving them a challenge at all. And that is my only concern. They are fine tuning. They're getting better game to game, week to week. That is my only concern is playing in the Big East
I
and
would tell you,
not being
Steve, do
challenged.
not. I would not be concerned with that at all. I think,
Yeah,
you know,
they've done it before, so
well,
You're a worry wart,
but
Cully.
you know what? It's
I'm not
here's
worried. I'm
here's
not.
the thing. It's not like in the last 4 or 5 years where we've been saying like they're really good, they're right there, but they hadn't gotten over that hump of winning. I mean, you've got a bunch of kids on this roster now who won a
Their
national
experience,
championship last
yes,
year. That's a
yeah,
huge advantage when you go
it
into
is.
March, regardless of who you've played all year. You've
Right.
been there, you know what to expect, you know how to prepare. Um, I'm not concerned about that at all. Speaking of Michigan, that Michigan Vandy game was an awesome game. I don't know if you guys
Yes,
watched that one, but
yes. No,
Nah.
I saw the highlights of it. I saw the highlights of it. Vandy looks incredible. I mean, I was very surprised for what they've done with their football program and what they've done with their women's basketball
and their
program as
men, their
well,
men are good
and the
too.
men. Yeah, I mean, that's when you look at the top 25. That, like I mentioned to Joe, Seton Hall was the only other non-Power Four team to be in besides us and Gonzaga. That's the only thing that scares me about the Big East. It just seems like, they plan this with NIL and everything. The Big East teams mostly don't have football. They were going to be able to spend on basketball, and they have not developed like expected, like some people have expected them to.
Well,
They
but I'm
expected
going to
to,
interrupt you for a minute, Cully, because
yeah.
a lot of these schools don't have the money to spend.
No, no.
You can talk all you want about the fact that they don't have football. They can spend money on basketball. They don't have the money.
Well, I'm not the one talking. I'm just saying the experts like
Well,
Jay Billis or
the experts are full of it because
yeah, it doesn't translate. I know it
it
doesn't.
doesn't translate.
It doesn't. I know.
You think Butler and Xavier and Creighton
DePaul, yeah, no,
or
I know.
DePaul are rolling in the dough and
They're
Seton
going to
Hall. I
spend
mean,
$10
Seton Hall
million.
spent
Yeah.
some money on their men's team, which we'll get to a little bit later.
Yes.
Not as much as St. John's
No.
or UConn or Villanova, but Georgetown's not got a lot of money. So I mean, this idea that because a team doesn't have football, they have all this money to throw around for basketball. It's
Yeah,
it's
they
kind of a
don't.
misnomer. Yeah.
No, it is. It is. They don't have the money, period. And the thought, because they don't have football, they're going to be able to spend more on basketball. It's going to benefit them. I think has kind of backfired. And now you're seeing, especially with the Duke situation, with the quarterback with Menza leaving at the 12th hour, and Duke is now suing him.
Yes.
And the
Yep.
argument becomes the contract on paper. If the contract on paper for NIL or the deal of what the school is going to pay you is not enforceable, what is the point of even having the contract? What is the
Right.
point of even having the transfer portal? Like
Right.
that's what I was thinking to myself. So if I'm Duke and I decide, okay, I'm not gonna pay Menza for the next 2 weeks. What's his recourse? What's he gonna do to stop me? If the contract isn't enforceable, what's the point of having him? So that's what fired me up about it. It's like they're trying to put these parameters in place and they're trying to put multi-year deals together to keep kids on the same roster for 3-4 years, but they're doing 2 years at a time. And the kid signs a contract, and then at the 12th hour, he's like, I'm entering the transfer portal. Then Duke announces they're going to sue. So what my thing is, what is the answer? Is the answer going to be Congress having to intervene eventually? Is the answer going to be the NCAA finally putting their foot down? There's so much going on, and it is just NIL agents. There's no regulations on that. I said my dog could be an NIL agent if you wanted to. Like there's no parameters in place, and I think so many of these kids are getting terrible advice, and you see that in the transfer portal for football. 10,000 plus kids were in the portal. Like 3,000 got signed, and there's 7,000 without a home who are trying to go back to their old school or in community colleges. So I think the transfer portal, yes, it's helped a lot of schools. It's helped, especially like Indiana win a national championship. It helped the U get back to being the U. But it's also, there's a number of kids whose lives are going to end up being destroyed by this. That was my concern, Joe. I mean, when I read about it, what were your thoughts when Menza entered and then Duke decided to sue?
I'm gonna utter 3 words you never hear in Connecticut. Good for Duke. Those are 3 words you never hear in Connecticut. Yeah,
you're never gonna.
If he's got a contract and he's trying to get out, then yeah, sue his ass.
Yeah, but that's my thing. So, do the contracts mean anything? That's my thing. If you're going by these contracts, they're saying that the players are not employees, so the contracts cannot be enforced, and that's the big issue. But the players are going against them. The schools are trying to lock kids in. There's tampering everywhere. What is going to end up being the answer? And I
don't think we can answer that because we don't know. So
you said that it would take a scandal.
So let's get back to basketball.
Okay. Well, the men had an interesting game against Georgetown, which was I would say a little bit unexpected. They were in a battle. They came out with a victory. They were on the road. They shot colder than ice, but they ended up getting the victory.
Colder than Maria's bedroom, a line I've never used
colder
before.
Than Maria's bedroom. In the 48 degrees there. They won
just got 60. Heat. It just kicked on.
It's
nice.
They got the gas guy got it working.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a scare, and they gutted it out. But I think that Joe mentioned this before. We wanted to see them have adversity, how they would respond to it, and they did. And we saw it at Seton Hall as well. They can play when the chips are down, and they did well despite the cold shooting. Terrace Reed had a double-double. Demery had 12 points. He had 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals. Mullins again had 11 points. Solo Ball had 10, and he had some clutch buckets at the end. So I give them credit. And Jalen Stewart off the bench, Joe, like you said, Stewart coming off the bench, switching with Mullins, I think has been such a great move by Hurley to do that. And I think Stewart is much more comfortable in that role. Do you see that?
Well, yeah, but I mean, he didn't have a great game. Caravan didn't have a great game.
Caravan was awful, yes.
The shooting was, brutal. Reed had a good first 5 minutes, and then
he scored the first 6 points. Yeah,
they finally admitted that Malachi Smith dribbles the ball too much. It was nice to hear that revelation come out. I was on that from the start. Jaden Ross was a non-factor.
No.
And Ball, you talk about Ball. Ball was 3 for 10.
The shooting was awful across the board.
Yeah, you can't say he had a good game when he was 3 for 10.
Well, I was saying down the stretch, he hit a couple big shots. I thought
that's nice, but if you hit shots earlier, it's not close.
But
Mullins was 3 for 9. I mean, he's going to in 31 minutes.
That's not productive.
Right? I mean, the guy who pulled him through again was Demery. I mean, I've come full circle on Demery. I'm not ready to call him Tristan Newton.
Anoint him.
But he's probably tried Newton. We'll give him the last couple of letters to the name when he does a little bit more. But yeah, it's fine. They won. Ho hum. It would have been a loss that people would have chirped about, because Georgetown's not very good.
But you predicted they would lose a few games in the Big
Well, I
East. They
think
were
they'll
not
lose a
going to go
couple.
far.
I don't.
Yeah,
I would say they'll lose maybe one or two.
yeah,
I could see him losing to St. John's at least once.
right.
They're starting to play a lot better. They had a big comeback win last night at the Garden against Seton Hall. They were down 15 early in the second half, and then they ratcheted up the pressure, and Seton Hall couldn't make a shot. I mean, one maybe two losses in the Big East, but other than that, I don't see them losing. The only game that I think they could lose at home would be Seton Hall. They could
Right.
have a tough. I'm sorry, it would be St. John's.
Oh,
They could have a
okay.
tough time Saturday at Villanova. Villanova's playing better. They got a much better coach in Kevin Willard. But yeah, I mean, it's the coach doesn't want anybody to nitpick, but that's part of the fun of following sports is nitpicking.
Well,
So
right. No, 100%. My question was about Rybe, because he had played so well
Ryba,
early. Yeah, I say it wrong. He had played very well early on. He seems to have kind of drifted away because obviously Reed is healthy. Reed is playing more
right,
minutes.
right.
Do you think they will try to get him going more, or do you think he'll just get what he gets?
He's Victor Rosa. He'll get what he gets.
He had to throw in Victor Rosa for me. Victor Rosa now with the Ohio
Now
Bobcat.
an Ohio Bobcat. No, he'll get what he gets. I mean, that's the way it's
Yeah,
been.
yeah,
Um,
it
since
is
since
for the
the
last month.
last few years, Sunogo played all the time. Klingon played once in a while. Klingon played all the time. Johnson played once in a while. It was more equitable last year because Reed was better than Johnson, but he felt a loyalty to Sampson to start him. If Ryba plays like 15
Right.
minutes a game
Yeah,
when Reed's not in foul trouble, then I think that's fine because Reed's probably the best big man in the conference. So
yeah.
you know,
He just has to stay out of foul
he's
trouble.
got to stay out of trouble. That's all.
Maria, what were your thoughts on this contest? I mean, we were 21 of 58 shooting from field goal range. We were 17. I'm sorry, we were 5 of 26 from 3-point range, and 17 of 24 for the free throw line.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a pretty offensive output, but I haven't been coaching as long as Hurley, but I've been coaching. I mean, listen, there's something to be said that when you still dig it out when you're
Yeah,
not playing well. I mean,
on the road too.
a win is listen, especially on the men's side, because I'm a big believer that I really think on the men's side, anybody could beat anybody on any given night. It's just the difference. Like if you come and you watch our men's team, our WestCon men's team,
Yeah,
they are just as athletic as the guys that you see out there. The only difference is the guys that UConn has are bigger
right.
and a little bit more skilled. But anybody can get hot one night on a night where you're getting really cold, and that's the
Yeah,
difference. But I think different from last year because last year we lost a bunch of these like
we
this,
did. No, we
you
lost the
know.
close games.
So
Yes.
I think it's a dramatically better in terms of you got a team that guts it out and you find a way to win. I'm walking away going, listen, I'll take it. I'm sure Hurley's not like thrilled, just like Gino wasn't thrilled at halftime Monday night, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, when you have more points on the board than the other team, it's still a win. And I think I said this last week. It's like when they go to the tournament and they do the seeding and they do whatever, they don't say, well, how much did you beat Georgetown and Seton Hall
A
by?
win is a
Beat 'em.
win is a win. Right.
Yep. So,
100%. 100%. And I mean, I totally agree with Joe. I got to watch Demery a little bit, and he definitely puts on a clinic when he dribbles. He loves to dribble a lot and showcases skills, and that that has to stop.
No,
That
and that's
is,
Emery Smith.
I mean, Malachi. Sorry, Malachi. Yes, he definitely loves to put on a clinic when he dribbles, and that was the first time I really noticed it. But it is fairly obvious. But I think the schedule is advantageous to them because they don't play again until Saturday. They'll get some rest. They got Villanova coming to our place, and that'll be a big game. And I think they'll have a good chance to win that as well. They've won, I think it was something like 14 in a row since they was it the Arizona game they lost, but they've been on a roll since then. And I think, like Maria said, gutting it out on the road against Georgetown, despite the cold shooting, shows the toughness and the grit that this team has that the team last year may have lacked. Do you agree with that, Joe?
Oh yeah, this is a much tougher team. I think Demery brings that, and Smith, even though he dribbles too much, is a tough player. I think Mullins is a baby faced assassin.
He
Um,
is.
and the rest of the kids have grown up a little bit more from last year. So yeah, I think it's a tougher team. I think they're better at withstanding adversity. But I will say this: the one thing that we've yet to see is a killer instinct.
Right.
Get a 10
Right.
point lead and make it 20. Don't let it get down to 3.
Right.
That against the good. Now they did that against the non-conference games early in the season that weren't BYU and Arizona and Kansas and Florida and those type of people. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's again, it's like watching the Yankees or the Celtics in their glory days, or really, Montreal Canadiens. It doesn't matter what you do in the regular season as long as you get to postseason. It's all about the postseason. It's about the Big East tournament, and then more importantly, about the NCAA tournament.
Do you think that, I mean, despite the wins that they're having, that either team is going to have trouble staying motivated, staying hungry, playing against the schedule?
Go ahead, Maria. I'll let you tell him he's full of crap first.
Okay, thank you.
You already said it, man. You took the words out of my mouth.
There's
Steve,
no
it's
way.
his job. It's his job to kind of say stuff that he knows we won't agree with, right?
Yes, exactly. He does, and you know what, Maria? The good thing is he does it very well.
Yeah, you do. And with a smile, Steve. Gotta love it.
Yeah, not out of anger. I like that, Steve.
Well, I was just asking, because they're dominating everyone. I mean, is it going to be tough to get up for
No,
Creighton and Butler and
no.
Xavier and
Their
those types of
coaches are too
schools?
good. Their coaches are
Yes,
too good. They
they're
won't
not
let
going to
them.
allow it to happen.
They won't let them get into a game with that attitude. So
Yeah,
I
and it's
respectfully
good.
disagree with you, Cully.
And the St. John's game they have at home, which is good. And other than that, I mean, really, in Seton Hall, they got it home.
Well,
So
because they've
they
already
played.
played Seton Hall on the road. They
That's what I'm
also have
saying.
St.
They
Yeah, but they
played the
also have St. John's on the road.
right. Okay, I didn't see that. I didn't
They
know
play everybody twice, once home, once away.
I didn't know they hadn't played St. John's yet. Okay, so they have St. John's twice in the same month. Okay, that's coming up the 6th and then the 25th. But I mean, just watching both these teams, do you think realistically, and this was asked by our good friend Christy, that both teams will have a chance to win a national title like back in 2004
And 2014.
and 2014?
Don't forget
Sorry,
2014. So
sorry,
yes, I think
2014.
the women. I think barring a catastrophic injury, the women win the national championship. I think the men have as good a chance as anybody, but there's a much more level playing field with the men. You've got Arizona, you've got Michigan, you've got Houston. So there's far more competition for the men, I think, Maria, than there is for the women.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I totally agree. Barring any major injuries, I don't see how the Uconn women don't go to the Final Four. I'm
Right.
just going to etch that in stone. So the men, I think more on the men's side. I'm not saying this isn't true on the women's side because it definitely is. It's a when you peak versus like, if you do or if you don't. Like I hate preseason polls. I even hate
So does
midseason
Joe.
polls
Yeah.
because it no one cares and no one remembers. The only time they remember is in 2004 when us and the men were both ranked number 1 to start and we both won the national championship. It's the
Right.
only time where you can go back and say, "See, look guys, we got it right."
Right.
That very rarely happens. Because the season's too long.
It is.
The basketball season, like, trust me, even at our level, like, it's a grind. And right now is that time of the season, right? The second semester is starting. Kids are starting to get back into a groove. This is the hardest stretch, I would say, is like the next month and a half because there's so many variables and kids get sick of each other too, by the way. Like, they're sick
They're
of the
around
grind a
each
little
other all
bit.
the time. Yeah.
And that's usually when tit for tats happen. And you want your team, and this is where I think Gino has always been amazing. You want your team playing their best basketball when March hits. Period. End of discussion. So, we can talk about all this stuff every single week, but the true test is can you get your team to play the best when you need them to play the best. Period. End of discussion.
That's it. That's what it's all about. That's the crux
Yeah.
of coaching.
Well,
Get your team playing its best when the games matter, when the lights are the brightest, when the games matter most. Look,
and
if they
that's
had
why you
lost,
see Cinderella teams, right? Like they go into the tournament, right? They go on a run in their
right?
conference tournament. They make the tournament.
Yeah,
They're on a high.
yeah,
And then they upset a couple people who maybe didn't win their conference tournament, right? But they got an at-large bid because they've been good
yeah,
all year. And then
yeah.
they get upset because those teams aren't playing as well. It's all about timing. It's all about chemistry. And it's about getting your kids to play well in March.
Yeah, that's all. That's all.
And somebody had asked about the seeding, the number 1 seeds. Do they go to different locations than typical this year? Have they
What do you mean?
changed that around? Like east, west, however south, however it had normally been? Like if UConn wins in the east, they would normally keep them in the east, correct?
Now that's not always the case.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
not always true. And because the women have screwed their tournament up by going to these 2 mega sites
Right.
for regional semifinals and stuff. But no, I mean uh if the men are number 1 seed and they follow through, then they'll probably go to Philadelphia for the first 2 games, and then I think it's Washington, the home of the Wizards, for the next 2. So that I mean, it's not Boston to Buffalo or whatever it was a couple of years ago, but
Right.
it's pretty sweet, you know. So
And
yeah,
what
I think you now I see one again. I despise bracketology, but I'm going to go here. There's one that has UConn. Joe Lenardi has UConn number 1 in the South, which means they'd go to Houston,
uh,
uh, and they'd have to play. Who would be the 2 seed there? They'd have to play Nebraska. Look, they'd have to play Nebraska. Nobody from UConn's fearing Nebraska
no.
in basketball. And
No.
he's got Michigan, he's got Duke as the number 1 seed in Washington. So it's all, but yes, in the men, you normally your first round games will be close to campus, as close as
Locally.
possible.
Right.
As close to possible. The
And
2 this year in the East for the first round are Philadelphia and Buffalo.
And it would be the same for the women as well?
No, because the women go to those. The women have that stupidity where they play the regionals at basically not neutral sites, but they all go to one place
Right. Okay.
or
That's
two
right.
different places,
Right.
which I think is moronic.
Yeah.
They go to Fort Worth. They go to that basketball hotbed, Fort Worth, and then they go to Sacramento.
Basketball hotbed, Fort Worth. Somebody else had asked, Joe, do you think there are any other women's Big East teams that have a chance to get into the tournament?
I'll defer to the head coach at WestCon for that
Yes.
because I don't know as well. But thank you for asking.
For the
I
women?
appreciate it. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think Villanova will go. Um,
Villanova could get in. Okay.
yeah, honestly, I think that's really it. I mean, again, unless
Yeah.
like the sky falls and UConn gets
Right.
upset in the Big East tournament, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see how anyone else could. The Big East is already not a like hugely respected conference. And
No.
like we've said it, like the eighth, I said this last year, the 8, 9, 10 seed in the SEC would be number 2 in the Big East.
Easily. Easily.
That's
I
just my
agree.
belief. So if you're going to look at it from that perspective and keep the integrity of what you're trying to do, which is to get, the 60, whatever it is now, what is it, 68 best
Yeah,
teams,
68. Yeah.
because obviously the crummy part is that, and again, this is why I said last week, like, why would you want to go coach or play in the Big East? Because
Yeah.
you might not get an at-large bid, and you're never winning the Big East tournament, so you're never making the NCAA tournament. It's crazy, right? Like,
No.
it's
There's such a discrepancy
it's
between the
it's
teams.
sad from that perspective, but maybe the whoever finishes second, which I think will be Villanova, unless St. John's or somebody else squeezes up there, but I don't see that happening. Maybe they get an at large, but I don't think the Big East deserves more than 2.
no, I don't either.
And then Joe, with the men, do you
Yes, Steve.
see 3 teams getting in for
Well,
sure?
I think people. I mean, I people think 4. People
People think
think
4
people think UConn, Seton Hall, St. John's, and Villanova
and
are
Nova. Okay.
possibilities. So
Okay.
I think 4 from the big. Now, I will say this. My feelings on bracketology is the same as preseason polls and mock drafts and 10-day weather forecasts. Um, but they've got Villanova on the ESPN site. They've got Villanova having to play in a playing game to get into the women's tournament. They'd have to play in a one of those games. So they have Villanova as an 11 seed having to play to earn a spot. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, and I think
Again,
also too, right, Joe? Like, listen, could a 5, 6 seed make a run in the Big East tournament on the men's side and win it? Yes, we've seen that before. And
yes,
if that
and
happens,
not
now
in the
you're
women's
you're
right.
bumping one of those guys out. So, because you're not
Right.
getting an extra one there.
Right. Right. Right.
No,
Right.
that's really good, Maria. That's a great point. There's no Cinderella in the Big East win. Well, they're all Cinderellas compared to UConn. In the men's side, you could have Seton Hall as a 4 or somebody as a 5 catch lightning in a bottle like
Yep.
we
Right.
did in 2011,
Yep.
and win the title, or Georgetown did a couple of years ago when Patrick Ewing was their coach. So
Right. Right. And then Joe, looking ahead to the game against Villanova at
yes, Steve.
home on Saturday, what do you see for that game? What is your prediction there?
It's at the XL, right? I think, or
Yep.
is it a Gamble? Yeah.
It's
So I
at
mean,
XL
Villanova, as I said, Villanova's better. They've had a good year. They're 8-2 in the
in the
conference.
conference. Yep.
One thing with Willard as the head coach, they'll be ready to play. Um, so we'll see. I mean, I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a bit of a challenge, but I don't think anybody from UConn's losing sleep over it. I can tell you that.
Right.
You
Right.
take care of business, and you'd have to think they're going to shoot the ball better. You can't
Yeah.
imagine shooting as poorly as they did
Against
on
Georgetown.
Saturday against Georgetown.
Yeah, they're not going to be as cold as they were 2 games in a row. And then I believe Maria.
Providence is after that.
Yes,
Providence at Gamble on Tuesday the 27th.
Maria. Anything for Georgetown on Thursday and Seton Hall on Sunday?
Um, I
Just
think
total annihilation.
I think we combined to win by 80.
Wow, I like that.
I think
I
it's
like
a 40.
that.
I think it's a 40-piece each game.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. I
Yeah, you
love
know
it.
what, Marie? I think you're spot on.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
a
it.
40-piece each game, and, like, I didn't say this earlier, but when I was watching on Monday, the crazy part is, like, we have 4 kids that weren't dressed. What other team in the country could have 4 kids not dressed right now and
Mm,
dismantle Notre Dame the way that we just did?
right.
We made
Totally.
Notre Dame look like a,
I mean,
a
it was like,
JV.
it's crazy, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
think they
mean,
could come out. I think they could come out a little slowly against Georgetown because A, there won't be any atmosphere, and B, it would be natural to uh
have a letdown or some
to
sort,
have a little bit of a letdown at the start of the game. So
but then they'll eventually rally and dominate. Dominate. Well, I watched the Notre Dame game because I thought it would be somewhat competitive, and I was completely wrong. It's so different watching the women, you know, and the men, just because the women just play. It seems like they execute much better. They play much better team basketball, and I know that's always been the case, but I haven't watched them as much, and they are just wonderful to watch, and I got great enjoyment out of watching the Notre Dame game. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what will happen, and I think we'll come out with a couple victories, and we'll keep rolling. This is
I
a
wouldn't
special
throw the
year.
men's style of play under the bus as quickly. I mean, maybe it's not as clinical as the women's style, but
No,
they
it's not.
run a very um, complex offense.
I love
Yes,
their
Um,
offense.
yes,
yeah,
yeah. They have
they
set
run a
plays.
very complex offense. So I don't know if it's
No,
and
I think
besides,
honestly, like, because I know it's like it's a version of the Princeton offense, but it's like a couple things combined.
well, he's got some European concepts in
Yeah,
there and
I
stuff.
don't think there's like, and obviously I haven't seen everybody out there play this year, but I mean he's been running this for the last couple of years. I don't think there's anyone better that puts in an offense for men's college hoops like Hurley does.
No, I agree.
I mean, those guys don't stop moving for a second. There's
No,
counters to everything. I think their offense is, in terms of getting the looks that they want, is top notch.
yeah. Nobody's ever standing around. Everyone's
Yeah, you
moving,
can't listen, Hurley,
cutting. Yeah,
as we all know, as a coach, you can't put the actual ball in the hoop for them. I've learned that the last 2 years, but you can set them up to get high percentage shots, which I think they do a really good job of in their offense. And their big guys come on the outside, they spread the floor, they got cutters everywhere. I think it's one of my, like, I watch their offense more than I even watch the women,
yeah.
because the women, it's hard to, it's so easy for them. You don't see as
Because they
much
have
of the
so many
complexities,
players.
but
Right.
he runs great stuff.
All right. Well, guys, great
Well, hold
show.
on, we got to do the football picks
Oh, yes, the
now.
NFC and AFC championship games.
Pats,
Now,
Pats.
Schumann was 1-3 last weekend. He
Correct.
had the only game he picked right was the Bears. Maria
The Bears
against the
lost, by
spread.
the way. Bears
What?
lost. Bears lost.
Yeah, but it was the
Yeah, but
line.
Oh,
Bears
the
spread,
line.
you
Sorry, the
moron.
spread.
What do I have to
Sorry, the
do that
spread.
with you all the
I
time?
keep forgetting the spread. Yep.
Maria picked the Patriots, but also picked Buffalo, the 49ers, and the Rams. So she was 1-3. Cully, you picked the same 4 teams as Maria because you want to suck up to her so you can stay
Yes,
in her place.
that's exactly
Um,
right. Yes.
so that made you 1-3. Well, I, who also
Yeah.
had the Indiana game right, picked Denver. That was a win. Picked Seattle. That was a win. And picked Chicago. That was a win. And I don't call it the Patriots game because I'll never pick the Patriots.
You will never pick the
So,
Patriots. I agree.
so I was 3-1, which gives me a 7-3 record on the weekend. So here are the spreads for this week,
So
and
Joe should be the parlay guy.
we'll go coaches first. The Rams are 2.5-point underdogs at Seattle.
Seattle.
Cully?
Seattle.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Too hot.
Seattle, especially at home.
Seattle's
right.
good.
Now, the Patriots, who have had the softest schedule ever, of anybody to get to a conference championship, and then have played two teams in the playoffs who wouldn't qualify for the college football playoffs the way they played. Have a Denver team without its quarterback playing a guy who hasn't played in 3 years.
Jarrett's doesn't. Yeah.
Now the spread is down a point from when it originally opened. The spread's now 4.5. Patriots are 4.5-point favorites.
Really?
Yep.
That's it. Wow. Because Drake May hasn't been spectacular in the playoffs,
Right.
so I see that.
Maria?
Listen, the Patriots defense was really good the other day.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
Yeah,
that's because the Texans quarterback looked more scared than I was on my first day.
Oh, poor CJ Stroud. Yeah.
I'm taking the Pats. I got Pats, Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
Cully?
Yeah, I got to go with New England as well.
You taking
can't
Denver,
take
Joe?
Denver.
It pains me.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll have any more pain in my procedure tomorrow than I'll have.
Oh, that's right. You have your ablation. That's right.
Than I'll have Sunday. But I don't see any way in hell the Patriots lose that game.
Yeah,
So
there's no way.
I'll let my head pick over my heart, which is probably good right now, and I'll pick the Patriots. So we all agree.
We had a debate. Coach of the year. Who do you think wins Coach of the Year? Because I was arguing with. That's what I thought too. I thought Vrabel too. I got pushback
who are
on
you going to
that.
give it to? You're going to give it to the guy who's got Stafford and Puka Nacua?
No, the two people I was talking with thought the 49ers guy was going to get it.
The one other guy who could win it is the Seattle coach, McDonald.
That's what I thought too. I thought Mike McDonald.
No, it's got to be Vrabel.
I thought Vrabel 100%. He took a 3-13 team to 13-3, and they've been, I know they played a soft schedule, but he was fired and he came in and turned that place right around. So that's why I was just curious because
the culture from the year before. So no,
yes.
I would say Vrabel. Maria, what's up for our WestCon team?
I was not crazy.
We play tonight. We play. We're at home versus SUNY Cobleskill. And then which is a winnable game. And then Saturday we have Southern Maine at home. Southern Maine is they're undefeated in conference. It's a big game. We weren't out of it. They didn't.
Next
we
Wednesday,
were in that game until the end up there. So, we'll see. I mean, a lot of things got to go right, but we'll give it the good old college try. And then we're at Eastern next week, and then I think we're at I forget where we are next Saturday. Plymouth State, maybe.
Unless we get a bad storm, I'll be there Wednesday to cheer you on.
Oh, all right. That's great.
I look forward to seeing you.
And hoot at the officials.
That'll make all the difference in the world.
No, I said hoot, not hoot.
Oh.
I'll be hooting at the officials.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I'll be on them
the officials do matter. It's funny. They really, really do. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They do. They do.
My skin starts to,
Oh, hey, the story just came across from UConn. UConn and Vanderbilt will begin a 2-year series in 27-28.
For football?
No, basketball.
Oh, okay. Good. That'll be good for them. Very happy
that'll
to
make
hear
what?
that.
Michaela Blake's a senior. That'll be cool. Michaela and Sarah will both be seniors.
Of course, it'll be funny if Shay's coaching UConn then.
Yeah, right. Right by then.
Yeah.
Well,
good luck tonight, Maria. Go get him.
Yeah, Maria.
All right, guys.
And I'm glad your bedrooms.
Thank you.
I'm glad your bedroom's warmed up.
Yeah, me too.
Bro.
Hey, good luck tomorrow, Joe.
All right, thanks, kid. Appreciate it.
All right, bye,
Maria
guys.
Conlon.
All right, Cully, sign us off.
WestCon head coach, Uconn Women's legend, Joe D, the icon himself, legendary voice of the Huskies, the best of the best. I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Remember, life gives you lemons. Don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges. Throw them right back at life.